This is the presentation for my signature project, Part 2 for SE 504 with instructor Dr. Rachel Dunbar at the University of West Alabama, and my name is Kimberly Brownlee. My signature project is on using a token economy system to improve behavior in the classroom. The purpose of this study is to implement strategies that will improve student engagement and on-task behavior during independent work time. Mine is with a math class. It is to reduce disruptive behaviors and support academic progress and positive behavior growth among students. And I predict that a token economy system will increase on-task behavior and math task completion by at least 50% within 4 weeks. As we all know, many elementary schools have students with special education needs who struggle not only with behaviors, but academic issues in the general education classroom. These behaviors that they struggle with a lot of times will prevent them from being able to independently complete math or any type of work assignments in class. And it also limits these students on reaching academic goals that are set for them and even some behavior goals that are set within their IEPs. So the identified problem within my project is that disruptive and off-task behavior during independent work time creates a lack of progress on academic goals and behavior goals for special education students. So this is some data that I gathered over a 3-week observation period. You'll notice that there are 2 bar graphs on the page, and the data in the 2 bar graphs shows a consistent pattern of increased off-task and disruptive behaviors. The top one is student off-task and disruptive behaviors, and the bottom bar graph shows work completion that was the lack of work completion due to off-task and disruptive behaviors. Okay, my background investigation. As the weekly behavioral incidents increased, I noticed that student work completion decreased among the students that I was observing. Their off-task and disruptive behaviors directly interfered with their academic productivity. And the data that was on the charts indicated that the issue impacted not only the students' behavior, but their academic outcomes as well. I did a lot of research on token economy systems and other strategies that would help with the behaviors that were being seen. And I really felt like a token economy system would be the most productive one. And we all know that B.F. Skinner's operant conditioning theory proposed that behavior can be shaped and maintained by its consequences, especially with positive reinforcement. And I believe that a token economy system is that it offers positive reinforcement. Research shows that token economy systems are very effective. They are evidence-based strategies that will increase on-task engagement and reduce disruptive behaviors in the classroom. One of the articles that I read was called The Token Economy Method in Reducing Off-Task Behavior Among Elementary School Students. And it reported that the implemented token economy comprised positive and negative reinforcement and punishment, as well as rewards and penalties, and it was effective at reducing off-task behavior among students. Another article that I found to be quite helpful, and I really enjoyed reading it, was Token Economy for Sustainable Education in the Future. And that article found that the use of a token economy facilitated an increase in the number of assignments that were completed at the same time that it decreased off-task and disruptive behaviors in the classroom. And I believe this was my favorite research article of all the ones that I read. and it was keep calm and earn more points. What research says about token economy systems. I really enjoyed that one. And it reported that token economy systems are used to encourage students to adapt appropriate target social and academic behaviors, and that evidence suggested that they had the potential to deter students from disruptive behaviors and support their engagement in learning. And I totally agree with that. So the population that was within my study was a third grade inclusion mathematics classroom. It had a total of 22 students, and I observed 4 of them that are special needs students that I identified with off-task or disruptive behaviors. And those 4 students that I selected demonstrated difficulty staying on task during independent math time, which limited their academic progress and attaining their behavior goals. So the results of this study will come from a 4-week observation while they are using the token economy system of the 4 students during their independent math time. And the selected students, like I said before, exhibit off-task and disruptive behaviors, and it interferes with their academic progress. And I believe that the token economy system that I'm selecting to use is appropriate, it's evidence-based, and it will increase their on-task behavior and reduce their disruptions in the classroom. So one of the instruments that I'm going to use is a behavior tracking sheet. And a behavior tracking sheet's used to record off-task and disruptive behaviors. You can use it for anything that you want to identify. Those are just the 2 that I'll be working on. The reason I like a behavior tracking sheet is because the behaviors are clearly defined. It allows for accurate identification, and it's a good tool for measurement. I also think it's reliable because you use the same definitions and procedures consistently across all observation sessions. Informed consent will be obtained from the parents or the guardians of the students before the study begins. Student confidentiality will be protected because the students will be assigned random letters, everyone that participates in the study, and no identifying information will be included to any of the study results. You won't be able to link it or anything. So these are the procedures on this slide, and it'll take the complete study takes place over 8 weeks. The first 3 of those was when I just observed to get a baseline data. So weeks 1 through 3 were where you obtain the baseline, and that's just collecting data of off-task behaviors or disruptive behaviors. And at this point in time, there's no token economy system that's being implemented. Now, during the intervention period, which would be weeks 4 through 7, I would implement the token economy during their independent math work time and continue at the same time collecting data on their behavior using that behavior tracking sheet. And then during week 8, we would compare the baseline and the intervention data and would evaluate the effectiveness of the token economy system. So, I'm so sorry, tongue tied. Validity. Sorry. It's clearly defined behavior allows for accurate identification and measurement. Sorry, I got tongue tied. It's reliable because it's consistent use of the same definitions and procedures across all observation sessions. So there are always, within the majority of studies that are conducted, there are things that are factors outside of someone's control. So factors that are outside of the teacher's control during this would be like sleep, emotional well-being. Did the child get in trouble in the class before they came to math? Did they eat breakfast? And I have a student that if she doesn't eat breakfast, goodness, we have a day. So there's all kinds of outside factors that can influence or affect a student's behavior from day to day. So we can't control that. External variables can influence focus on a student, how they self-regulate, and whether or not they're going to be able to complete tasks. So as a result of that, changes in behavior cannot be attributed solely to the token economy system, but we have to take into consideration that. So there's a few ethical considerations. The research poses little to no risk to participants. However, informed consent will still be obtained from the parents or legal guardians because the research subjects are minors. They're in third grade. Students will be assigned random letters. No information will be linked to them so that their privacy is still maintained during the study. And those students that receive special education services will continue to do so throughout the study. Unfortunately, the research was not completed, but my anticipated outcome is that the students will show improvement in both academic progress and their on-task behaviors in the classroom. One of my main reflection is that if I were to implement this project again, I would not make any changes at this time as the research has not yet been conducted. However, based on current classroom experience and what I do on a daily basis, I found that token economy systems are very effective in the classroom, especially with certain students. You've got to figure out which students they work well for. So it's kind of like a cause and like you've got to try it, and if it doesn't work, then you have to find something else that does. But for the most part, token economy systems, I feel like, are very successful in the classroom. You just have to frequently adjust the task or reinforcers for the students based on their likes or dislikes and what works for them. Not everything will work for every child. We know that as educators. Thank you.